Hey everyone, hope that you are having a good week, and I hope that wherever you are, you're having some sunshine because we are finally having some sunny days here in upstate New York. Again, I am popping in, and I can't tell you the countless messages I received this week just asking for advice or maybe my opinion on just how to handle some real disappointments that are going on in our families right now, and how visible it is in our kids that they are really disappointed with things that they expected to be happening and aren't happening now because we are staying at home, because businesses are closed, because of some of the recommendations and guidelines. And so I wanted to talk with you a little bit about how to deal with some of that disappointment, as well as help you just sort of shore up your faith in our children's ability to be resilient. So let's talk about that a little bit. And again, before I start, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening to these videos. Thank you for sharing them. Thank you for asking me to do more, because they're helpful, and they are helpful for me too, to sort of talk this out and to use them in my own family as well. So really, there's been a lot of reality happening in the past few weeks. Things are just really starting to hit home. Things like having to go to school and pick up your child's belongings. I had to do that this week. It was very heartbreaking. It was very eerie. It was a challenge to have to do it myself and not be able to bring my child with me. It was just odd. And it was hard to know, really in front of me, have it be very clear that those end of the year celebrations, activities, parties, assemblies, things that we are accustomed to weren't going to happen this year. We weren't able to say our goodbyes. My daughter has her teacher, the same teacher every 2 years, and this is her second year with her teacher. And so there really would have been a big goodbye at the end of this school year before she moves on to a new teacher for 5th grade. And she doesn't get to do that. And it was just very obvious. So I feel like some of those disappointments and cancellations and things abruptly ending became very real to us and to our kids these past few weeks. There is actual disappointment happening within our families, and we all are dealing with it differently. We all have a different degree of hard when it comes to disappointment. Some of us are very disappointed because our summer plans, our summer vacations or summer camp or whatever you were planning on isn't happening. Some of us are really disappointed because we're not able to be with family or friends right now. Whatever it may be that you're going through, your hard matters. Your hard is your hard, and it is your difficulty. It doesn't really matter if it's affecting somebody else, it's affecting you, and that's what counts. So that is just really happening right now, and that uncertainty of what's to come next has become very visible in our families. Very visible. I think a lot of kids are feeling braver to ask what next school year is going to look like, or what the summer is going to look like, or when they're going to be finishing doing school at home, or when they're going to be able to have sleepovers again. And because it's so visible and aware and raw, it's harder for us to handle, because we don't have the answers as parents. We can maybe speculate, we can read different guidelines, we can watch the news, but we really don't know. And so having that visible uncertainty is making it more challenging to handle the disappointments and the cancellations and things that continue to happen over and over and over again. There are constant reminders that we are just in this state of chaos. And I've been popping in and I've been trying to give you tips and strategies, but I want you all to hear this. Every parent, caregiver, grandparent, whomever out there, please hear this. It is not your job. It is not your role to fix this for your kids. It's not your job. I know that that's how we feel as parents. Like, we'll fix it. We're going to make it better. That's what we do as parents. We're going to make everything just more comfortable for our kids. That's just what we're supposed to do. But it is not your job to fix the state of things, mostly because we can't. We are not in control of things that are happening right now. And it is not your job to fix how your kids are feeling. It's not your job to fix the cancellations. It's not your job to fix the disappointment and the negative feelings that might be going on. That's not your role. In fact, if you're busy trying to fix it, or if you're busy trying to distract your kids from these negative things, or if you're busy trying to make it all better and to just move on from it, it's actually deterring your kids from handling and coping with these feelings in a positive way. They have to be able to work through it with you and not just avoid it. Avoidance really can create more anxiety, more struggles, more depression, more symptoms that we don't really want to have in our households. So try not to avoid it. Try to be okay with not being able to fix it. And instead, here's some things that you can do as parents. This is your role. Here you go. All right. So the first thing that you can do is just recognize what's happening in your house. Recognize what's going on with your kids. Recognize how they're feeling. Recognize changes in their behaviors. Are they taking more naps? Are they more withdrawn? Are they asking more questions? Are they having more worry? Are they disinterested in things that they normally had interest in? Are they more lazy? These are just any kind of change in behavior that's pretty significant and has become consistent. That's something for you to recognize. From there, you're going to want to name it and then validate it. So bring awareness to it. Now, for our really little kids, like our 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, it can be hard to say, why are you taking so many naps? Why are you being so lazy? All right, it's not really gonna work for the little ones. But for our school-age kids or even our teenage, young adult children who are probably home with you right now, you can name those things for them and it starts a conversation. It opens the dialogue for you to validate what you're seeing and what might be going on with those kids. So talk with them about those things. Name feelings for like our little kids, like our 4 or 5-year-olds who may not have that emotion vocabulary. It seems like you're sad. It seems like you're really missing baseball because you don't want to talk with your baseball friends on Zoom. It seems like you're really missing school because you don't want to talk with your school friends on FaceTime. All right, so being able to name those things and then validating them by saying, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel like you just don't like doing dance on Zoom. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be disappointed. And real validation comes from you by saying, I feel sad too. I feel disappointed too. You are their number one person. Even for our kids who are 25 years old, you, their parent, their caregiver, are the number one person. And for you to validate their feelings by saying you feel them too, that's big. That's really big. Be aware that these hard feelings that we are feeling as grown-ups are even bigger in our kids. If a feeling is, something that can fit in your hand, imagine how the size that it is with a grown-up and how much bigger that is with a little person, okay? So feelings can be very big for our kids, and we need to be able to name them and validate them for them. Okay, allow space for the feelings. That's the next one. That's the third one. Allow space. Allow them to feel their feelings. Allow them to cry. Gosh, as parents, we're like, don't cry, it's okay, don't cry. Allow them to cry, allow them to kick and scream, allow them to pout, allow them to curl up in a ball and squeeze their stuffed animal, and give space for all the feelings, the angry, the sad, the worried, the excited, the hyper, whatever feelings might be going on with your kids, allow space for that. But you need to be in control of it. You need to be present for it. You need to be able to maybe put a time limit on it. Okay, let's hang out. Let's snuggle a little bit. Let's squeeze our stuffed animals. It's okay if we can cry a little bit. What are we going to do when we're done with that? How can we help ourselves feel better? What can mommy do to help you when you're done crying? All right, so allow space for it. Be present with it. Okay, last thing. Encourage the resilience as a team. Children in general are resilient little beings. Oh my goodness, the things that they can go through and be just fine on the other side. It's incredible. It's incredible. And I don't know if it's because they haven't experienced a whole lot, or if because they're naive, or because they're innocent, or because they're just really fresh and new. But kids, they are super resilient, and we have to be accepting of that. We have to think, okay, I think my kid's gonna be okay with this. I had a conversation with my daughter today and asked her how she really felt about maybe doing school at home next year. And she's like, yeah, that'd be okay. I'd be good with that. And I said, would you miss going to school and sitting at a desk where your friends might be in your classroom and walking the hallways with your other friends? And she's like, well, yeah, I'd miss it, but I'd be okay with doing school at home. And for me, I'm like, the worst thing ever. That would just be so awful. Doesn't she want to go back to school? But I have to trust that she's being resilient in this moment. Your kids are resilient beings, but they can't just do it all on their own. Resilience has to happen as a team, so you need to be present for it. Brainstorm with them what things they can do this summer. What sorts of creative things can they come up with? Kids are really creative too. How do they want to see their summer happening, knowing now what life has been like for the past 2 months? What can they come up with? I bet you they have some good ideas. So be resilient with them, present and as a team. You need to be part of their healing and part of this journey. This is definitely a journey. This is not a sprint. What we're going through right now, it's a marathon. So be present with them throughout this entire process. All right? Talk with them, validate their feelings, allow the space for the feelings, and then have faith that they can be resilient, because I know they can. Your kids are amazing little people. I hope this is helpful. Again, I welcome your questions. You can share them here in the comments, or you can send me a private message. I would love to help as much as I can. And thank you guys for tuning in and sharing and encouraging me to share more. All right. Thanks again. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.